Hello. Knock, knock. Who's there? The IGN UK podcast. That's who.
We're going to take over your house.
Who, but more importantly, who are we? My name is Gav Murphy. To my left,
Joseph Screbbles.
was the big new hotshot higher IGN UK towers.
No longer.
No longer, because now we've got...
Alysia Judge. Whoop, 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 whoop.
What an intro. Who are you, Alysia?
Oh gosh, that's an existential question to start off with. Didn't have that in my job interview.
Is it Alysia or Alysia?
Alysia.
Feels like I should know that by now.
Yeah,
I know, it wasn't been like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In fairness, it's got far too many syllables. I don't really know what my parents were thinking.
I keep putting another S in it. So it's like, yeah.
Which, to be fair, makes more sense because it's spelled Alysia, which is
Yeah.
definitely like Alicia, Alysia.
You're not foreign, are you?
I mean, I have parentage in Scotland, so I mean, I'm basically like your brethren from Wales, Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, lots of Celtic people count that. I don't, personally.
You've been moaning a lot about Uncharted featuring a Scotland level and not a Welsh level. It's insufferable,
It's
to be
the
honest.
only thing, we'll go on to Uncharted in a bit, but it's the only thing that would have pushed it over for me into a perfect game.
Interesting.
Interesting.
But yeah, Alysia,
You could do this.
never going to get that right ever again. So you are our new host
I
at
am.
IGN UK. How is it going so far?
Yeah, it's going really, really good. Like, I'm...
It's not where I've yet.
Oh, gosh. No, it's going good. Like, the issue has been trying to keep up with the teleprompter. Like,
Okay.
I don't know if guys know how we film the news videos, but we always have, like, a teleprompter on the iPad.
Yeah.
And...
Don't tell them, because then they might start their own news
trade
channel.
secrets.
You're screwed.
But
They won't have the mirror, the special mirror.
The special mirror. It is. It's like a crazy mirror that sits on top, and then it's all reflected. So when you look at the iPad, it's all mirror imaged,
Yeah.
and then it goes. But it goes really fast.
You know you can slow it down, don't you?
I have eventually worked that out after.
That sounded very uncertain. Like you
Yeah.
didn't know that.
In fairness,
I
I
have.
have. Yes.
Because I really like the buttons, because the buttons are a tortoise and a hare for speeding it up and slowing it down.
I actually haven't noticed that. I think I'm the most unobservant
I think they have all just made that up and they should implement it into the app. Pretty sure that's right.
App
It sounds right.
design.
But
See, it's weird. I see Usain Bolt and Richard Griffiths. Maybe it's what you want it to be.
so when Joe started, I asked him what his favourite things were. So I'm going to ask you what your favourite things are now. So
Like
what's
that song.
What?
Those are a few of my
Yeah, if you want.
favourite things.
What is your favourite
Yeah, I suppose.
You can sing them at me.
bad start? What is your favourite video game ever? And bear in mind, people would judge you this forever.
You can't judge the judge. Last name Judge.
Oh, come on.
Nice.
We're not having this
Wait,
already.
We
Nice.
are. I'm whacking it out. I'm establishing.
This is powers
my
all
rule.
over again, turning his name into a verb. I don't like it.
Just because no one knows how to pronounce your last name, you're just
Wow.
bitter.
That's basically racism, so...
Ding,
Tribunal.
Ding.
Oh god, favourite game. There's like 6.
What should you have to pick one?
Most recent game is Last of Us because
Okay.
it's just amazing
Yeah.
and the story's incredible. I absolutely loved SSX3 back in the day. Whenever
Nice.
it was so like whenever we had did you ever do like school exchanges with like French students or Spanish students and stuff?
I did
Not-
it with
not in
Swedish
Wales.
students.
With Swedish students? No way.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I went to Sweden. They told me all about how they invented yogurt cartons. It was nuts. They love
Sounds
it over
very
there.
educational.
That's all they've got.
What a fun weekend was had.
But we always just used to like, because obviously you can't really communicate with them because you can say mon chat est bleu and
Yeah.
other useful things. So I would just sit with them on SSX3 and I'd be like, right, let's race down a mountain.
Was that the
It's
one where
great.
the game was one single mountain?
No, that was the one
that
after.
the next one?
That was the one after, which I didn't like as much.
Which one was 3?
SSX3 was the one where there was like almost 3 different peaks, so hence the 3.
yeah.
And you had to unlock each stage and stuff, and it had like the avalanche.
Communicate with these foreigners by the medium of ollies. Did you ollie on
called
a
ollies?
sideboard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 360s.
Or 360s, kind of the. It was all about they had an incredible soundtrack. It had what was that song? It was like.
Oh, Jerk It Out by the Caesars.
Yeah, Jerk It Out.
Yeah.
I love it how we've just started and I've sung twice in like the first 5 minutes. I told you it'd be a musical
Match of the Day
podcast.
spoiled that song for me because they just use it constantly.
Oh, was that one of their like goal highlights?
just
Video
all
songs.
the time.
I hate those guys.
But yeah, no, like all snowboarding games had amazing things. Like Cool Borders, that had an amazing soundtrack.
I think we actually had someone writing in recently after we talked about skating games. Someone wrote in and was like desperate for more snowboarding games.
Yeah.
So we're building up a sizable cadre of people.
The new SSX that they released, it just wasn't as fun. It was awesome and it looked incredible.
Yeah.
But they
it
always
just
had like
wasn't fun.
silliness.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
SSX Tricky, I always remember the guy's
so good.
afro like flapping in the wind.
He was amazing.
That's
what
the
you want.
defining image.
It was like just the characterisation, like Moby would go off a massive peak and go, I can see London from here. There was all these like really stupid little one-liners and then it became all serious and gloomy and...
That's good. That's good two favourite
Good
games.
two.
That's good two favourite games.
We'll keep it with 2.
What is your favourite TV show?
Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, definitely. It's I know there's a few raised eyebrows of like, but it was first of all it was really bonding between me and my aunt because everyone has a mad
She
aunt.
is a zombie.
Right? Because she died many years ago and we keep her in the basement. No, but I mean almost equally mad. She's one of these aunts who she lives in her little house up in Doncaster, and she bought her house based on how well it will survive the zombie apocalypse.
That's
so
interesting.
The first time I went to see her, she's got this alleyway at the back and she was like, well, I've got this alleyway, Alysia, and it means if I set up a machine gun turret here, it'll bottleneck all the zombies.
Sounds awesome.
And I
Your auntie a prepper. Does she have all this stuff?
She is such a legend. And she has like a cellar, and I was like, no, Helen, like this is a really bad idea. Because Auntie Helen was like, Aunt Helen, if you go into the basement, then you're going to get hemmed in and that'll pour in and blah, blah. And she was like, no. And it turns out there's this little grate at the back and you can crawl through it and it goes up to the street. So she's got an escape route in her basement. It's amazing. And she introduced me to The Walking Dead. And so we kind of
Have you seen this documentary on?
That's the word. Yeah, I mean, presumably if you're frightened enough of zombies to buy a house that suits a zombie assault, then like
That's pretty good.
well, she wants it.
It's the wrong emotion. Yeah, it's not fright. I think it's genuine excitement
I
at
think
the
that's
impending.
scarier.
She's amazing. Do you guys not have mad aunts or uncles or
Not zombie
second
ones.
cousins?
I think mate, because you're a little bit younger than me and slightly younger than Joe, so maybe now, like, I think I just got old aunts and old uncles who were never like cool, as I recall.
That's interesting.
I thought you were going to say, now I'm of the uncle age. I am the mad uncle.
I am an uncle.
Eccentricities.
I am an uncle. And like, yeah, like my maybe I am the mad uncle. I mean, I don't have a dungeon like your aunt, but maybe I am. But yeah, no, my uncle and aunties they're nice, they're lovely, but yeah, just boring. But they did introduce me to video games, so that's
Well, there we go. Maybe that's
good.
clearly the job of aunts and uncles we've established.
Be
It's
cool.
introducing to video games and or
Keep them
TV
alive. Keep
series.
your nieces and nephews alive in your dungeons.
Yeah.
What is your favourite movie?
Favourite movie? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Good
It's a
film.
mouthful to say.
Kaufman stuff. Do you
Yeah.
like him in general, or are you just about that film?
Just that specific film
Interesting.
is pretty amazing.
I haven't seen his new film. What is it, the puppet one?
Oh, Anomalisa.
Yeah, or the
apparently
animation
it's
one.
pretty difficult to get
Is
on
it?
with.
Yeah.
It looks like it.
So was that.
Synecdoche, New York.
Yeah.
I hated that film.
That was so hard to watch.
Everyone's like,
man.
oh, such a clever idea.
Yeah.
He's does this thing. What he does is Synecdoche's like a thing that's like another thing. So all he does the whole time is uses words that sound like another word.
Yeah.
It's not clever. Like everyone's going, Charlie Kaufman's blown my mind. You
Yeah.
go, he's got a dictionary. Fuck off, mononyms. I don't need them.
I remember watching
yeah,
Eternal
Eternal
Sunshine of the
Sunshine's
Spotless Mind after a particularly bad breakup, and it was just like, why isn't this real? Take the pain, Lord.
I'll have the blue hair.
Like, how is it not real?
You're
yet?
looking in the yellow pages for the number to call.
I also think it's one of those films that if you watched it, because we've talked about The Prestige on here and in the pub at length.
Yes.
And it's one of those films that, like, you get more out of it constantly. Like, I wanted to do an IGN show just about Prestige.
Let's do it.
Where we literally, every week,
such a good film.
we talk about more stuff in the Prestige.
Yeah, we watch it every week and find one more new thing about it.
Yeah.
It's actually quite good.
It is starting to get a little bit like Virgin Suicides, though, because, like, every time we get, like, a little bit pissed, they'll go, oh, yeah, but what about this in Prestige? And it'll be, like, just us, me, you, and Kruger just huddled in a pub.
Yeah, everyone else is having a nice
A really
drink.
nice time. We're talking about
mingling with their fellow man, and we're just like, what about Borden's?
what if he's talking to himself in this bit? Which is good. But no, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, you've picked all good things there. I don't think anyone can argue.
Have I passed the test?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you already got the job, so it'd be pretty mean if we were just like,
Yes!
we actually don't like The Walking Dead that much,
This is
so
the next stage of the interview.
Probation.
you're done.
In fact, I'm really surprised that I got the job because at my interview, I forgot to breathe twice. Which, literally mid-sentence. There's one of those things where you're kind of talking like this and you suddenly realise that you're really fast running out of oxygen, but you still don't breathe because you're really nervous, and so you're carrying on feeling and you just pause and go.
Yeah, when you have to be
Okay,
when you have to be physically resuscitated by your new boss twice.
Yeah.
Like
it
once is
wasn't
all right.
great.
You told us an amazing thing that happened to you in an interview, though, when we were in the pub the other day, and that was the thing that you said to Alex about the bag.
Yeah, first thing I do, I'm sat in like the waiting room waiting for Alex to come out and get me for the interview. And I happen to have a suitcase with me because I was going to go visit my parents straight after. And I'm trundling on my suitcase. Alex comes out, shakes my hand, goes, I'm Alex from IGN.
He does sound like that.
Exactly, that was a brilliant impression. And the first thing that comes out my mouth is verbal diarrhea. Point at my suitcase and goes, well, it just looks like this is a bit presumptuous, like I'm moving in.
Weird.
And he just turns around and like looks at me, and I'm wheeling my suitcase into the office. He's like, oh, God.
Yeah, Al's not one for whimsy, to be honest.
And the worst thing is the suitcase was like bright pink and flowery and kind of just a bit.
Yeah.
It was the only one that was going in the cupboard at home, so it was just like the worst one to bring in.
That's awesome. Well, let's get on to what we were going to talk about this week. The main thing is, who gives a shit about review scores? A lot of people, apparently.
It's a bit weird,
Turns
isn't it?
out. It's been a big thing surrounding sort of Uncharted 4, and I think kind of kicked off by us, really. So Lucy O'Brien, one of our amazing people in Australia, she's actually Kiwi, but she lives in Australia. Which is like me living here, so I've always like had like an affinity with it.
As a part Australian.
Exactly.
I'd like to
Are you
say
part Australian?
You're
I
both,
do know that, yeah.
You're both scum. Get out.
Australian. Didn't know that. I learned
Got a
nothing.
bit of everything. Chilling out.
Well,
Soaking up all the nationalities.
so Lucy originally gave Uncharted 4 an 8.9.
Yeah.
It was a review in progress because she
good,
hadn't
that.
played any of the multiplayer. 8.9 is an awesome score.
Good score.
It's a good game. That got bumped up to a 9. When after she'd played all the multiplayer stuff. But in between all this, people were just going absolutely nuts. Bearing in mind, people hadn't played the game at this point because it wasn't out. But people were sort of disagreeing with Ruth, saying, how can this game not be getting a perfect thing? And then started bringing in sort of Lucy's other scores for other games that she's given. Like, some people had a lot of issues with the fact that she gave The Evil Within 8.8 and then had given Uncharted 4 an 8.9. Almost like those games are completely different games.
Yeah.
And you're approaching them differently. I don't know.
Almost as if, like, maybe she likes them both quite similarly, because that's allowed.
And I saw they even tweeted games at her that she hadn't written anything on.
There was this fantastic dude who was just like, because obviously because Lucy's a lady as well, some dickhead started bringing sort of, oh, you're bringing a feminist agenda into it. If you read the Uncharted 4, there's nothing.
Hey,
No.
I
Like-
always review games
like-
with my ovaries.
You jump into a game
The
ovaries
right
first.
one is tingling. It's an 8.9.
But yeah, there's some guy tweeting her going, I still haven't forgiven you for Metal Gear Solid 5 and Far Cry 4. She's like, I've never written anything about either of those games. And like, it just really kicked off, and it's to be fair, it's really boring. It's like the same conversations that we're having does constantly. And it's even, like I've written here, there was a petition that's been currently signed by 44 virgins to ban Lucy O'Brien from reviewing PlayStation games on IGN. So not even...
Just PlayStation.
Yeah. One, not let's get rid of Lucy O'Brien. I'm not saying you should, but I mean, aim high first.
I love that.
Not stop reviewing games, just stop reviewing PlayStation
PlayStation
You know what would be
games.
great if she went back and reviewed Far Cry 4 on Xbox One and then sent it to that guy who was like, forgive me now, fuck you.
But yeah, so this is the main thing of the petition.
In light of Lucy O'Brien's Uncharted 4 review, which came in below the Polygon 1 and a whole 5 points below her Rise of the Tomb Raider review, along with a history of lowballing PlayStation games in general and using her position as a game reviewer to further her feminist agenda.
Me.
I am starting this petition to hopefully remove her from reviewing PlayStation games and to be submitted to IGN when 50,000 or hopefully more people have signed. As I said, 44 people have signed it so far. But some of the comments on it are nuts. Like, someone is just putting, this is an injustice to games.
This culture, like, I get that people like their games, and I've been upset by review scores before. Anyone will be,
Absolutely,
because you want people to agree with you. Like, that's just natural.
Yeah, like, I mean, we've talked about it on this podcast, like, when the new X-Files came out, like, we're massive X-Files fans, and, like, we reviewed a lot of the X-Files episodes, like, really, really favourably. Like, Matt Fowler, who does a lot of our TV reviews, reviewed them. I thought they were borderline unwatchable.
Yeah, I hated it.
We struggled through the first episode together. We were going to kind of watch them week by week. We were just like,
Just gave up.
I don't want to. Like, I really don't want to.
Yeah, like, it's tough, and, like, you know, you disagree with that stuff to the point, like, not to just be purely negative against, like, lots of our readers.
No,
there is a very interesting thing that at a similar time, Paradox's new strategy game Stellaris came out.
Yeah.
We gave it a 6.0, which is well below the average. And this started a very similar thing. Paradox themselves came out and, to their eternal credit, gave a statement and said, we don't agree either, but you've got to let people have opinions, and a lot of what he said, you know, makes sense. Like, this is okay.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing is important. Like, we respect the fact that, you know, Metacritic being what it is, although we don't have anything to do with Metacritic, and we can't, we can't take responsibility for what they do with our scores.
Yeah.
But we do respect the fact that our scores can make a difference to actual people's lives who aren't people who just play games.
No.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, shut up and grow up.
That's the thing. Like, I generally, if I was like, I've almost finished Uncharted 4 now. I'm having a little break because I just don't want it to end, basically. But like, if I was reviewing it, like, I probably would have reviewed it higher just because I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Lucy's a different person to me. So Lucy's had a different experience with that game, and Lucy, like, what you're reading is Lucy's opinion on that game.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're reading.
Well, I mean, that's also, it's one of the things that I love about video games versus any other media. That you will have a completely different experience. If you sit in a cinema and you watch a film, the action is happening to you. So, you know, it's very kind of passive, whereas people will find different things in video games. They'll pull out different threads. They'll have different relationships with characters. They'll have different options. And it's just, at the end of the day, a review is a personal opinion.
Yeah.
And, like, I think it's better if people can at least, like, align themselves maybe with one particular reviewer that they know has similar opinions to them.
That's the thing. I kind of don't read reviews, but I will read people that I like. So, like, if I've seen that Lucy's reviewing something, I like Lucy's writing, so I'll be like, oh, once I've played or watched that thing, I might check it out like afterwards. But I guess we're in a really good position where we don't have to pay for a lot of stuff. Whereas I guess maybe some people are using this as just, you know, they use review scores as whether or not they're going to buy something. But this is not what this is about.
I think that's also a really key point, though, that people use the review scores, like, not the review itself.
Yeah.
So people will often just scroll down to the bottom, see the number, and not read. Like, if you read Lucy's review, she was really fair and actually really positive, the stuff that she was saying.
And any good review, you're going, like, the mark of a good review is that you can read through it, and even if you disagree with the points they're making, the points they are making refer to your opinion in some way. So they might say, I don't like this mechanic because it does this. You might love that mechanic because it does this. What they've done is covered that thing exists and put their opinion, you know, with respect to it. That's the craft of a review, is that you can come out with a completely different opinion, and yet they've covered all your points as well. That is important, and it is something that review does. So to turn it into, well, the other thing, this goes two ways, because people want objective criticism, which is fundamentally impossible. They also want to attack people personally for their opinions. You can't have it both ways. Like,
yes, but this is the internet, Joe.
Like, it just doesn't make sense, guys.
Well, like, so for instance, if we give a game a really high score, we often get accusations of, oh, well, you're just in cahoots with the developer, and it's like, you know, unless you agree, there will be some form of accusation.
That's the thing. I think
the people who are going to bitch and moan about things like this, I think people are just bored, really.
Fundamentally, yeah.
I think that's what it is. And like the game hasn't come out yet. People are obviously building it up, and for some reason have decided to take an 8.9 as a personal clout on themselves.
Yeah.
I guess.
I suppose, yeah, you invest a lot in the stuff you like. And if someone doesn't like it as much as you, then it becomes, or, for the wrong kind of person, it becomes a personal attack. And that's a problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's a really immature thing, and I hope people grow out of it, because I definitely remember being like that when I was a kid. Like, I was a proper like fanboy over stuff like I liked Metallica and a friend of mine liked Iron Maiden, and we used to be like, but how can you like that? There's so much. Then I was getting like, you do kind of, because you align yourself to something when you're a kid, and you get behind something and you put everything behind it. But like, shut up.
Well, you know
what I mean? It's hard.
It's the eternal problem of tribalism. It's why there's still problems in football, but like in games, this stuff doesn't need to exist, and it is ceasing to exist. Once at the point at which, like, we're getting towards PS4 and Xbox One being able to play online together, like, we are at a point where your console of choice is more based on technicalities rather than loyalism, rather than like any kind of tribe choosing like it used to be. And once that's gone, hopefully this will fade away a bit. The lowballing PlayStation games, as ludicrous as it is, I get it if you are a PlayStation fan and someone who seems to like Xbox games.
Right, okay, yeah.
But you can't judge a person on review scores, because that's not a human. That's just a set of numbers they wrote once.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I really love it if like we do this and then like Lucy's like next week's just like, nah, I gave Tomb Raider a high score because it's a woman, and I gave Uncharted shit score because it's a man. So that's the end of that.
Just came out with it. I know. I think Shakespeare sums it up pretty well when he said, "What's in a game? A game by any other score would still smell as sweet."
What? Game smelling sweet? Still smell of discs.
Have you ever said that? A new game smell?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
We actually just opened the Doom like collector's edition this morning, Krupa and me, and the action figure thing in there smelled amazing.
Whiff of sulphur.
Yeah, it was so good.
Bit of hell.
Yeah, it was really good. Alysia, let's do your thing next. Because what have you just done?
Oh yeah, so I just came back from a hen weekend, which is my first hen weekend I've ever been on. And we were in the Czech Republic, and it got me thinking, who would you love to go on a hen or stag weekend with? A fictional character from games or entertainment? Because
when did you start thinking this? Is this on holiday? Because it can't have been that good.
No. It was amazing. It was because in our little group there was 4 of us. Was there 4 of us? There was 4 of us.
Yeah.
And like everyone, it was like an RPG. Everyone took like a certain role.
Chef.
Yeah, chef. You had like the well, first of all you had the kind of warrior. So when we were in a club and stuff, and people were like coming up to the bride, and so this one particular girl was like the bouncer. She'd come in with like her fictional battle axe and bat away. You had the healer, so we did a high ropes course, and one of the girls fell and really bruised her leg, and then someone kind of came along and was like, I'll help her out with the bruise.
Got a poultice.
Everyone
made out of moss.
So yeah, it was just kind of like,
what was your role?
Yeah, I was going to say, what did you do?
What was my role?
Mage, set this lad on fire.
Banter, mostly.
I think my role was probably it was actually probably the rogue. I was kind of the kleptomaniac of the group because I was going everywhere.
You were on the rob.
Well, you brought us back gifts. Did you steal all that?
All those little bottles.
Now.
We had this little like scrapbook of memories for the bride, so we all like wrote notes and stuff in it, and I thought it'd be really nice to like put like glue lots of like bits and pieces in there. So I basically went everywhere, and I was like, this twig is amazing, we'll glue it in, or like this bus ticket or whatever. So I was just
pocket stuffed with things from the ground.
Stealing from Mother Earth.
Who would I like to go on a stag do with? I think for the first day, the guys in Catherine in our bar.
You want to go out with the guys from Catherine?
I reckon they go pretty hard on the first day.
Aren't they all like in serious trouble? What's going on?
But take them out of that.
They're just fun guys?
Take them out of that. They like hanging out at bars. They like eating pizza.
Okay.
I think... And they've got a nice little dynamic going, like they're joking and stuff like that, and they're taking a piss. I think that'd be quite good for the first day. They seem like the kind of guys who would go really hard on the first day and then not be able to do anything the next day.
And that's what you want?
I don't know. It depends on whose stag do it is.
someone
Like,
to go the distance.
I've been the person who's gone too hard on the Friday and then unable to do anything and just like wandering around Liverpool, like really raining, dressed up as Fidel Castro. That was a dark day for me. But yeah, I think those guys would be pretty good to hang out with.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on whether you're having a stag weekend or a stag do. Because if you're doing just the straight up night out, yeah.
I don't think any stag do's are just the one night, are they anymore? It always seems to be, every stag do that I go on seems to be...
You've been to a lot more than I have.
How many have you been on, Joe?
One, and it was 5 days on a canal boat. So
Wow.
I've got a skewed opinion here. I want someone good at... I want Link from Wind Waker to pilot us about, so I don't have to do it.
They're not all on canal boats, you know that.
It might be for me.
All of mine are always like weekends away, and they're all like, because Welsh people don't like...
Not this again.
No, but Welsh people like going to the same places. I went to Newcastle once on a stag do.
Good call.
I went to one pub.
What, the
For
entire
3
time?
days.
Which pub was it?
It's like a big pub with an outside bit.
Doesn't narrow it down.
They were having a Cuban day.
Oh, hence the Fidel Castro.
No, it was a different stag do.
You just have a Cuban element to
Completely
every
different stag do. That's what.
Yeah, so wait, I'm always on canal boats. You're always in Cuba.
No, I'm
But
just
not
always
in
Cuban.
Cuba.
But yeah, no, I think I would. Yeah, the guys from Catherine.
What defines a stag do? I don't know what I need. Someone hard drinkers,
Big weekend on the Raz.
On the Raz.
but convivial. You don't want anyone causing problems.
No.
Good at drinking and nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that? I don't know. Zangief. He looks all right. I reckon he can hold it.
Yeah. Don't know.
No, not down for Zangief. He's not going to get in clubs
I think I'm not.
wearing pants.
I think I'm getting to the age now where like if it's just got to be a nice quiet chatting in a pub. And that's why I went for the Catherine people, because I don't think their voices ever go above this, pretty much. And
Really?
I like that, yeah.
I don't think I've played enough Catherine. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
I'm starting to think I don't. It was about 4 years ago that I played that. But I have really fond memories of that.
Yeah.
But
It's tough, that.
yes, good. Well, if you have any, let us know. IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com. Next up, have you ever walked out of anything? Not like jobs or marriage or anything. Just keep it light, guys, please. Well, I'll tell you why I'm asking it.
Okay. Do
So,
that.
and then you can think while I do that. So I went to see a comedy show the other day that my girlfriend and I have been planning on seeing for ages, and we sat through there was a support act, and we sat through her for a little bit, and then I kind of was just like, I might go get us a drink. I'm not having a very good time.
That's a semi-walkout.
So it's a semi-walkout. And the girlfriend was like, yeah, okay. And then it was a pretty famous comedian. So it was Rob Delaney.
Oh, shit, really?
So we've talked about Catastrophe, his TV show, on here a bunch of times because it was really good. I didn't think the second series was as good, but the first series is like so good, so funny. So I was really excited to see him because I got my girlfriend into Catastrophe as well. So she bought the tickets. It was a big surprise. And we were really excited. And then so I sort of snuck off during the support act and I said, I'll go get us a drink. But I sat outside for half a pint and drank it by myself. Because it was boiling hot.
That's naughty.
You just left your girlfriend.
Well, no, because she was
inside.
having a relatively good time, I think. So I thought, well, I'm just not going to sit there being grumpy. So I thought, and I wasn't being grumpy, I was enjoying it because she was
Look at
enjoying
you
it.
rationalising having a half pint by yourself.
But I thought
I'm helping.
it was boiling hot, and because everyone had gone in to watch the support act, the South Bank bar, like the third floor, I don't know if you've ever been there, but it was empty, so it was awesome. So I had basically the balcony to myself, and I thought, I can't be arsed, I'm just going to stand here.
Yeah.
So I had a half a pint to myself, then went back to the bar, I was like, can you just put half a pint in there for me, please? so I went back in, and then Rob Delaney came on. And it was a couple of I've seen him before in the Soho Theatre, which is a much smaller place, and he even said this is the biggest place I've ever played, and it just wasn't very good.
Oh, no.
I didn't think it was that funny, and I've heard him before talk about his wife. I've heard him talk about it in a favourable way, but also I've heard him talk about it in like a sort of negative way. And I think because Catastrophe is all about sort of 40-somethings getting together, being married, and having kids. That's kind of what his entire set was about.
Right.
So I just kind of felt like I'd heard a lot of it, but it was the same kind of ramblings, but they were just different jokes. So it was just
I've got a lot of kids. Here's some jokes on that. I've got a wife I've been with for ages, and now, you know, we don't have a great sex life. Here's some jokes on that. And like after a while, like I kind of leaned over to my thing. I was just like, this guy sounds like fucking Bernard Manning. Like he's just talking about his wife in such a mean way, and like everyone's like, oh my god, it's so funny, Rob Delaney, like he's so close to the bone. And I was like, just finding it really mean.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just over the top, and I'm not saying that I didn't like it because it was mean. I just didn't like it because I didn't find it very funny.
But
it could be mean, as long as I find it funny, it's fine.
That's it. That kind of comedy relies on being shocking, and if you just hear it over and over again, like.
But like, I spoke
that.
to somebody else about it, because so basically, I said to Alysia, I was like, "Are you having a good time?" She was like, "Not really. This is kind of shitty." And I was like, it's really still sunny outside. Should we go outside? Like, and she was like, how do you know? I don't know. I was like, and the balcony is completely clear. You can go there and you'll be able to see them for miles.
The guy's like, another half pint, sir.
Yeah. You must have me confused with someone else, sir. So I was like, should we just go? And we walked out, and we had a brilliant night after that. I was like, but then so I started thinking, I felt bad for walking out. But then I started thinking, like, I think it's okay to walk out of stuff.
Yeah,
if you're not having a good time,
if you've paid for it, and if you're going to be particularly if you're going to be making it worse for other people.
I don't think
no. But you know, I know what you're like. No,
I'm sitting there going, great one, mate.
Another one. Tell us another one about your wife, mate.
I wasn't doing that. I was just kind of sitting there, like. But there was at one point he said like the punchline was David Cameron, and there was this guy in front of me who was like making assumptions about him because he was in like a really nice suit. Like, he's a banker or an insurance guy or something like that, and he was just pissing himself laughing at the phrase David Cameron, started clapping and stuff. And then like the girl, she was making jokes. She was like, "Oh, and that's Snapchat," and everyone was just like roaring laughter. Just like
it's really weird seeing the punchlines out of context. As well.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry about that, but like, yeah. And then so I kind of went outside and we had a chat, and then. My girlfriend brought up like a book by Nick Hornby called 13 Songs, which is a decent book, and I forgot about it. But it's basically like him going through like 13 songs that have made like an impact on his life. And he talks about Led Zeppelin in there, and he talks about, I think it's Moby Dick, but he talks about basically being in a Led Zeppelin gig, there being this giant drum solo, and he just got bored in the middle of it. It was like 10 minutes into like a 25-minute drum solo, and he was just like. So he left, went around the corner, like played a game of pool, had a pint, and then came back and watched the end of the gig. And he was just like, "It's okay to leave stuff if you're having a good time."
Yeah.
Like, I think I kind of felt that because we were just on this amazing sort of sunny balcony having a great time.
Do you still feel good about Rob Delaney, or has he been tarnished for you?
No, I feel absolutely fine. I'll definitely watch.
And I think that's probably it. You've walked
like,
out. And you've been like, this isn't working for me. If you'd stuck it out and been upset,
it's
much like the reviews.
And,
get to a bad review score. Fuck off. Go do something you like. Like, this is it. We live in this culture of making ourselves angry all the time. You don't need to do it.
Yeah, because to be fair, like Krupa and I went to watch recently Hail Caesar. One of the worst films I've ever seen. I love the Coen brothers, but we were just looking.
I can kind of tell that from the poster. I don't know why. You know.
The thing is, I was super excited about it, but like I was super excited about that, and the trailer made it look like a kind of Big Lebowski style caper, and it's not. It's really weird, and they're doing something really strange with it. But me and Krupa spent a lot of the film just looking at each other, going, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
But we give it.
Is it like Burn After Reading?
We give it a great review on the site. So, and
that guy's dead.
Yeah, set fire to his house. So it's fine. But no, it's not like Burn After Reading.
No, because I hate that film.
Do you?
Yeah, awful.
See, I didn't mind that, but there was like I like bits of Burn After Reading. So in that sense, there's a lot of different characters going on, and they're not necessarily all entwined. That's the thing that's going on. But yeah, like I wish I'd walked out of that, but it was a press screening, so I kind of always feel a bit weird walking out of a press screening.
Because you've been given that.
Yeah.
The only thing I've ever walked out of that I can think of was the comedy act at the Games Media Awards last year in Cahoots.
Oh God, that was so bad.
But I don't want to stick the boot in there because I don't think they've done
just
very well.
Just Google In Cahoots and then you'll find out.
Because I'm stingy, and the idea of walking out of something freaks me out because I'm like, I don't want to use my money. The closest I've ever come was.
I should point out my girlfriend paid for this.
Yeah.
That's how I was walking out left, right, and centre.
Closest I've ever come was Only God Forgives, that Nicholas Winding Refn film, which I genuinely think is the worst thing I've ever seen in the cinema.
I love it.
I hated it. I hated every minute of it. Actually, apart from the karaoke sequences, which are great.
Yeah, they are awesome.
But just awful, horrible.
I can generally see why people don't like it, but I don't know. For me, it just really struck something. And I was like, I love it.
Yeah, his new film looks rubbish as well.
What's his new film?
Neon something Neon Demon.
I want to watch there's a documentary about the making of Only God Forgives, and I want to watch that.
Was it? Oh, I'm just sad in Bangkok. See
I
you
think it's
later.
his wife that makes it as well, so I'm sure he comes out of it pretty favourably.
Rubs.
Have you ever walked out of anything?
No, you know what? I'm like you, Joe. I have to flog various parts of kidneys and things to afford tickets to go places, and I'm kind of like, oh no, it's too. I mean, I've stopped a lot of DVDs. That's probably my equivalent.
Yeah,
of kind of.
I've stopped reading a lot of books.
Yeah.
I think that feels better because you could go back to it
Yes.
theoretically, but you just
Yeah.
never
You
do.
walk out in your head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've subconsciously walked out on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm also that person in the cinema that if someone kind of walks out and blocks like the seat in front of you, they're just going to the loo or to get a hot dog or something,
yeah.
and I'm always like, where are you going?
To be fair, I don't have to worry about that. You two are both quite tall.
Yeah.
So I'm very rarely in people's way. That's how short I
Yeah.
am.
Works
So.
I also have a terrible relationship with gravity. So generally when I'm clambering over people, I just take people out, leave a trail of devastation in my wake.
Fair play.
Joe, well, if you've ever walked out of anything, let us know. IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com. Joe,
Yes.
what have you put on this list of funs?
Well, this is because of you. You
Okay.
linked us to a trailer for a film called Don't Breathe, which I hadn't
Yes.
heard of prior to seeing the trailer, and we've all watched it today. And I think it looks
badass, man.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And the thing that it's sparked in my head to explain, it's a film about three people robbing a blind man's house, but it turns out the blind man is way more equipped than they thought to deal with that.
Yeah.
And it inverts that trope by making him in his house way scarier than the people invading his house.
Yeah.
I just think elevator pitch horror has, for some reason, has just reappeared and is really exciting again. And so we talked about Green Room last week, which is punk band gets trapped in a neo-Nazi club.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's amazing. What a great pitch. Unfriended, which was what happens if you shoot a horror film on a Skype call. Amazing.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen much of it. I've seen bits of it.
Did you walk out of it?
No, there were friends watching it and it looked scary and I wasn't in the mood. And It Follows, which is what if haunting was a sexually transmitted disease.
Yeah.
Like all of this stuff, like these little kernels of ideas, it's really exciting to me. And it feels like, I don't know, I guess it's being able to make films more cheaply but look good.
Yeah.
Like
There's
people have small scale ideas and they can go through with them.
Sorry.
No,
Well, I mean, I think it's also this idea of tension and the idea of tension and fear. And it's almost like, if you whack your hand against something repeatedly, it gets a bit calloused.
Yeah.
And like,
What? Is this your terrible relationship with gravity again?
just all my skin, I'm like Stone Man. But it becomes, and it's this idea with fear and stuff that if you scare people in the same way over and over again, you see the same trope over and over again, people are going to stop being afraid.
Yeah.
So the traditional haunted house just doesn't work. And if you flip it, like with this, what was the name of the film again? The one
Don't
with
Breathe.
Don't Breathe. Really cool, the idea of the person who should be afraid being the one making others. And that first scene where he's just stood there with the gun, if you guys haven't seen the trailer, they show it in the trailer, and it's just like so tense.
Yeah, even in a trailer.
In a trailer.
It's the same people who did the Evil Dead remake as well, which, I know people don't like remakes and stuff like that, but that is a good film, man.
Yeah, and you've
It's
actually
really
sold it
good.
because I hadn't watched it because I wasn't that interested in seeing a remake. But you kind of sold it to me by saying there's no Ash figure, it's not funny, it's just horrible, and
there's some nasty bits going on in there. And there's some Welsh in it as well. A witch speaks Welsh in it, so get on that. But there's also there's a really good film that Krupa and I just watched that's on Netflix called Hush.
Oh yeah,
And it's a home invasion film, but the woman being invaded is deaf.
okay.
This sounds
so it's
like
basically the same thing.
Yeah.
with a different sense.
But yeah, that's when I watched Don't Breathe, I was like, ooh, okay. But with Don't Breathe, there's obviously a lot more going on with that guy. Whereas this, without spoiling too much, it's just really weird seeing it from her point of view because the camera sometimes jumps inside her head and you don't see it from her eyes, but you definitely see it from her ears because you have these moments of silence where you see people walking around her house and obviously she can't see them or hear them. Because so it's really.
Wait, she can't see them either.
No, she can't see them, but she definitely can't hear them. She's looking at them the other way or something like
I
that.
see.
So because her senses are all closed off, it's really strange. But it's on Netflix. It's just I don't know where it came from.
And it's good.
It's really really good.
That's awesome. I want to see another one then. I want to see Sniff, which is about a man who can't smell stinky thieves. Let's get all of these done.
It's strange though, like,
Copyright.
Yeah.
but I think you're right though. Like these big sort of pitch, big idea sort of things. So instead of having like super gruesome stuff, which what we've had, and then we had like ghost stuff coming back as well.
That's it. It has been like it does feel like its own wave.
Yeah.
Like you say, we had torture porn, and then we had Paranormal Activity and all the other shit, and then this, and like
Jenny, out of all those, I think it's someone could tell me if I'm right. I think it might be not The Conjuring, but one of those. I'm always get confused.
James Wan, or
it's one of those James Wan films, the one with
Insidious.
Patrick Wills. It is Insidious.
Yeah.
I think,
Insidious, yeah.
There's a bit in that generally escaped me more than anything, and it's like
Really?
Is it the breakfast scene?
no, it's a bit where there's like you see the demon on the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
And the demon is saying about the kid, I want him. And it's horrid.
In the first Insidious?
Maybe it's not Insidious, maybe it's Sinister. I don't know.
No, it is Insidious.
Insidious is the one with like the demon that looks like a weird red zebra man.
No, he looks like Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Insidious the one with the two ghost hunters?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Is that?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the thing is on the ceiling,
on the ceiling? Does
and
he
he's
say
talking
on
about
the
the kid, and he's going like,
Oh, but you don't hear him say it. He speaks through the old woman, doesn't he?
you maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But all I can remember is this thing on the ceiling saying, I want him.
Yeah.
And it's fucking does me in.
I found that film quite funny. Like it was a bit silly and over the top. I liked it.
And it was like the crazy piano music.
Oh, the Tiny Tim thing was really funny. I like that a lot.
We sang that as a house all the time.
As a house?
Yeah, because we watched it amongst our housemates, and it just became like the anthem. You'd be sat there, and someone would be making pancakes, going tiptoe through the window.
That's
Don't know
good.
why.
Yeah, that film ends really weird. That was a fun film. Like it does some very strange stuff. Like where he goes to like Hell World to get his kid back.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I've blocked that from my
Really strange. It's great.
I have blocked that bit from my mind.
The good bit about it, talking about inversion, the clever thing that movie did was, I think, the breakfast scene where they just sat there and it's the morning and nothing, like, it should be safe. Like, there's a kind of golden glow to the screen, all the filters look nice. And he's just sat there and they're eating and talking, and the camera flicks back to the dad. And the red thing monster is just standing right behind him. And you're so off guard. And that was clever because, you know, traditionally horror movies tell us when a scare is going to happen.
Yeah. Ugh, that's horrible. Yeah. Okay, then. Alysia, I can't say your name anymore.
Gosh, I'm going to start calling you Gavin.
Gavin. Here we go. Do you know what keyword countdown is?
I do not, but I'm really intrigued to find out.
Excellent. Joe, do you want to sing the jingle?
Not really.
Because no one has made us a jingle. Why hasn't anyone made us a jingle?
Someone make one.
Someone's got to make a
And
jingle.
email it in too.
IGN_UK_feedback@IGN.com.
It's almost as if we didn't get any feedback last week and we really want people to send us emails.
I'll tell you what, if someone makes me a keyword countdown jingle that goes to the same tune as Teenage Wasteland by The Who, I will send you a box of shit. I've got some cool shit.
That's a terrible deal.
A box of my shit.
Not my actual shit, but by my desk I have like loads of promo t-shirts, promo action figures, promo games. Like if you make me a jingle that's good, I will send you that stuff.
Yeah.
Or I'll just get Rory to do it.
Because he's got it too.
He's meant to be. So keyword countdown. On IMDb, there are keywords for every film. And they range from being like really descriptive to being absolutely mental, to do it with every single film. So we play a little game, whereas I have a bunch of them, and you have to guess what the film is by the keyword.
Oh, this is a brilliant game.
It is a brilliant game.
I like
It's
this
a
game.
good game.
This is now becoming my favourite game ever, going back to the beginning of the podcast.
So at the moment, somebody asked last week if I could read out the league table.
Have I shot up it?
You have shot up.
Do we
it.
have a league table?
We have a league table.
This is amazing.
I've got a lot of time, right? So
Don't admit that.
A lot of promo stuff.
I
thanks to your
don't
desk.
mind. So Joe had a blistering week last week.
Joe.
But it was Alex that was on, and Alex is rubbish at this game. So at the top, I'll just go through everyone then. So at the top of the points table, it's so tight. Rory's top of 41 points, but he's played the most times, so that means nothing.
Have you got how many times they've played on this league?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Good.
Chris is second with 38 points. Joe is third with 30 points. Krupa's fourth with 29 points.
I'm beating Cooper after 2 goals.
Yeah, Dale is... Krupa's only played twice, man.
Oh, mother...
so not really. Dale is after that with 22 points, and Alex is after that with 7 points. Technically, you're last, but that's
I mean,
that's not your fault.
we all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, but I've got loads of different stats. I've got how many films they've guessed, how many times they played, how many people have guessed on the first clue. It's only ever happened once.
Who was that?
It was Dale Driver.
I can see him getting
This
that was
is like
Dale Driver.
Google Analytics. I'm going to call it Gavin Analytics.
Analytics. It's called Keyword Countdown. You'll call it by its name. So, film number 1. Biker Babe. Same actor playing 2 characters simultaneously on screen.
Michael Keaton. That film, Multiplicity.
Famous song. Female warrior.
Xena!
Suspense.
Suspense, Biker Babe.
Biker Babe.
Mushroom cloud.
Mad Max? Mad Max 2. Mad Max 3.
Sacrifice.
What?
Villain turns good.
Fuck me.
What's got Biker?
Liquid metal.
Terminator 2.
Yeah.
There we go.
And the one after that was a T-1000. So
Bad
2
start.
points to Joe there.
Well done.
right.
Well done.
Well then. Film number 2. Crusades.
The one with Orlando Bloom. Kingdom
tell
of Heaven.
Don't tell him.
Kingdom of Heaven. I said Kingdom of Heaven.
It's not.
Yeah.
King.
Robin Hood. Men in Tights.
Band of Outlaws.
The other
it's
Robin
Hood.
Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
Men in Tights first, obviously.
This is
That's a
fun.
good film there.
Yeah.
I'm just lulling you into a false sense of security here, Joe.
Well done, Joe.
All right.
I do love you when Men in Tights first.
That's ridiculous. I have way better feelings about that.
Case file. Oh, this is film number 3. Oh, actually, I'll do the other ones for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Box office hit. Friends who live together.
What?
Held at sword point. Exploding barrel.
These are the weirdest keywords ever.
Yeah, the first ones were much easier.
Famous song. English nobility. The Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah. That is good.
Might as well be Alan Rickman is the sheriff of Nottingham.
Both of those had famous songs. What was? Do you know what the famous song for Terminator 2 was?
It's for a bonus point.
If you want.
No, what?
I don't even know the song.
See, I thought the famous song. See, this is. I don't know. Is the famous song for Terminator 2 "You Could Be Mine"? Yeah, maybe that. But no, I think it means like song, actual song. So it could be "You Could Be Mine" by the Guns N' Roses. I think that was an actual single that was released with the film.
Don't remember that
Or
at all.
"Bad to the Bone," which is I always associate with that film.
When's that played?
"Bad to the Bone."
Is it when he
he
comes-
walks into the biker place? Yeah.
Makes
But
sense.
There we are. Okay, film number 3. Case file. Brutality.
7.
Murder of a police officer.
7.
Male frontal nudity.
7.
Severed head.
What do you...
Kidnapping. Psychiatrist.
Oh, is it Hannibal?
FBI trainee.
Oh, it's Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. No, that should
Nabbed
totally
it.
count.
I've done that.
Should totally
I've done that
count.
2 weeks in a row.
No.
Nabbed it.
Do I not? Can I get half a point? I totally knew it.
You can get half.
Yes.
So I just shook my head. We don't deal in halves. Okay.
Oh, I'm so annoyed.
It's fine.
Of course, full frontal male nudity.
Okay, here we go.
These are all very old films.
Does it count as full frontal if it's Buffalo Bill with his dick between his legs? That's not full frontal.
You do see his penis.
No, he doesn't.
You know, I've never.
He tucks
do?
it.
You see it before he tucks it, though, doesn't he?
Do you? I don't think you do.
What? You've taken over the IMDb.
God, I'm
It's a
gonna
good
get
po-
that deleted.
it's a good point.
I don't think that's frontal enough. I want my whole front.
Male frontal nudity. I said full frontal in my clue. But anyway.
Interesting.
I've never actually seen Silence of the Lambs,
Oh,
but
it's
I've
very
seen
good.
I've seen a clip where he like cuts and he takes the guy's.
That's Hannibal.
That's Hannibal.
Is that Hannibal?
That's Hannibal, yeah.
Ah, that was horrible.
Is that Ray Liotta's
That was
head he
horrible.
takes?
It is Ray
Yeah.
Liotta's head,
It
and
was
he's
so
going.
horrible.
Isn't one of the police
His face.
So what's he doing?
naked? Isn't one of the police naked in you know when he breaks out?
In
and he
Silence of
like
the Lambs?
yeah, and he like splays him out like that. Isn't one of the
Oh,
police
where he
guys
steals his
naked?
face?
Yeah,
Maybe. I don't know.
good film. You should watch it.
It's very good.
Really good.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Film number 4. Oh, I'll give you the other one. Sorry, yeah. The other one's FBI trainee, human monster, cannibal.
Human
Yeah.
monster.
It's because she calls him a monster, doesn't she? Like, get this monster back
Yeah.
to Baltimore. That famous line.
There's so many good bits in that film, like horrible things that happen.
Yeah, there's
Just
loads.
whenever anyone walks past jail cells in films now, I
it's
expect
horrible,
there to
yeah.
be some disgusting things going on.
It's horrible. But like,
God, it must be terrible when you watch Orange is the New Black.
Oh, well, I've not watched it. It's too scary.
but there's that bit where like he goes to like the lockup and they find that car.
Oh, yeah, with
all
the-
that shit that's going on.
There's loads of
Like,
bits.
That's really good. Because why is that lockup so creepy, and why does she go in the middle of the night?
Well, she's stupid. Lockups are creepy.
Yeah.
There you go, solved it. No
Done.
more mysteries left
Here
for
we
you.
go. Film number 4.
Yeah.
Children.
Children of the Corn.
Harry Potter.
Dog.
Oh, fuck, that was a good guess. Beethoven.
Orphan.
Beethoven goes fourth. Annie.
No.
Baseball glove.
Oh my God.
Page Master.
Fear of flying.
Peter Pan. Peter Hook.
Yes.
I thought I saw you fling your hand away. I thought you'd thrown your teacup at the wall.
I got a point.
Well done. Well done. You got
were
it.
the
You got
warrior on
5
that,
points for
Andy.
that.
Did I get 5 points?
absolutely
Why did I
5
get 5
points.
points?
Because, well, I've had to explain this to Rory before, but basically it goes 10 points for the first guess, 1 point for 10th
Oh, I
clue during
see.
10
So
minutes, and
depending on...
she
This
got
is a
5.
good system.
Thank you. Took Rory. I don't think Rory still understands it, to be honest.
And he's winning.
Yeah, and he's winning. He still bitches and moans about it,
Damning
even though he's
indictment
winning.
of the rest of us.
But that was good. So the other ones: father-son estrangement, city of children, surname as title, teenager fighting adult, hook for a hand.
Boo-box.
Yeah.
Boo-box is scarier than anything in Silence of the Lambs.
I wish that was a thing. Okay. Fifth and final film. Fighter pilot.
Top Gun.
Native American.
Pocahontas.
Sex scene. Exploding plane.
I've been thrown off by Native American.
Lip syncing.
What?
Rhyme in title. Boxing match.
Gun gun.
Bad luck. Parody.
Oh,
Punctuation in title. Yeah,
I've never heard of it.
You never heard of Hot Shots?
No.
Ah, it's really good.
I was ready to say part deux.
I knew that was gonna throw people off. For an extra point, can any of you tell me what the link between all those films were?
They were made in the 90s. In 1991.
They were made in 1991. And what happened in 1991, Alysia?
I was born.
There you go.
Yes,
They were
that's
all
why.
films that were some of the top grossing films in 1991. The year people.
Nice.
I literally just before this podcast, Gavin came up to me and was like, Alysia, what year were you born? And I was like, 1991. Why? And he
get
was
the
like, just
special
no reason.
treatment.
No reason.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, because I only came up with it today. And do you know the best thing is? Yeah, you were born in 1991, and we did Beauty and the Beast last week because it's my favourite Disney film.
Oh, it's
that was
such
in
a
my
good
thing.
film.
So the top grossing films in 1991: Terminator 2, Judge. You had a really good year to be born in. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Beauty and the Beast, Hook, Silence of the Lambs, JFK, Addams Family, Cape Fear, Hot Shots, City Slickers.
In fairness, that really is a good year.
JFK,
It's really good.
laying it down a bit.
JFK's all right. It's all right.
Oliver Stone.
And one thing I just reminded before we go, you have an awesome story about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What is your story? What is your link with Harry Potter?
My link with Harry Potter is that I was an extra in Order of the Phoenix and in Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Have you got a screen grab?
I do.
We can make that the thumbnail for this episode.
Absolutely.
There's actually a GIF that I didn't even make when I was. It's from Order of the Phoenix, and someone posted it on my Facebook wall. And it's the most embarrassing scene as well because I did Order of the Phoenix when I was this 14 gangly, confused child, and I'm stood there at the side, basically staring in abject kind of awe at the Weasley twins.
Yeah.
Just staring at them. Everyone else is acting, and I'm just standing there with my bag on my shoulder.
Extra touching the gingers all the
They
time.
look the same.
Witch! They're like, no, they're wizards.
Have
They're
they got
fine.
brown hair?
I only ever saw them ginger.
I think they're liars.
I interviewed them once. I'm pretty sure they had ginger hair.
No.
Maybe I've manifested them being liars because I believe they are.
I interviewed them once, and they walked in the room as I was talking to a friend, and basically Weezer were playing like a surprise show, and a friend of mine was like, I think I can get us Weezer tickets. And then he rang, and while he was on the phone, when, oh no, I can't, I'm not going to be able to do it. I was like, why did you ring me up if it wasn't a possibility? Now I'm upset because I'm not going to go to see Weezer.
Yeah.
It's like, you shouldn't have done that. And then I turned around, they were in the room. I was like, shit. I was like, anyway, I got to go for the phone now. They were like, oh, are you going to Weezer tonight? I was like, no, that was my friend ringing me up to tell me they were playing, and then also to tell me that I can't go. And they were like, oh, we're going to go. And I was like, here we go.
That's mental. It's
Now I'm
mental
gonna be friends with
that
them.
of all the bands, it would be Weezer that sounds
Yeah.
like Weasley. It's like it's like that moment in the book where when you say Voldemort appears with all these Death Eaters. You say something similar. Weasley. Wah!
I thought they were going to, I genuinely thought they were going to invite me along, but they didn't.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sad.
But so
I'm
what do you
sorry.
get to do in these Harry Potter films?
So in the first Harry Potter movie, it was mostly that. That's the one where Dolores Umbridge is doing her thing. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of standing, looking very sad, watching proclamations of her various decrees being nailed to the wall by Filch. I did the Great Hall scenes, which were really,
Awesome.
really fun. They're really fun. And in the last movie was more fun because I was 18. And so
We got fucked up.
we went
Holy
mental.
well.
Well, I've been
See this really drunk girl at the back. That's me.
Yeah, completely confused in the first film, just drunk and Larry.
Battle of Hogwarts, reeling about, lamping Gryffindors.
Just with 2 wands dual wielding,
Yeah.
like, pew pew. Well, because that one I got promoted, so I was in Ravenclaw in Order of the Phoenix, but I was Gryffindor in
That's not
the
being
last
promoted.
movie. It was totally
That's a
promoted.
demotion.
No.
Oh, Ravenclaw's what I'm in, mate.
Is
Are you
it?
remember,
No, straight
according
up
to
Ravenclaw.
did you do Pottermore?
Of course I
Of course
did.
you did Pottermore. But in the last movie, because it's all the battle scenes, so I got to learn how to duel. We did this
Awesome.
scene in like midnight. It was like a night shoot where we were destroying the courtyard. So there was all these pyrotechnics, and we had to run through
I was
like
going to say,
fire
didn't they
and
set the
stuff.
set on fire?
Yeah, it all went a bit wrong. This set was one where we had to do the shoot and destroy the courtyard. It's just as Voldemort's force field kind of goes, and they were all like, oh, you know, nothing can go wrong because if we have to reset the set, it costs thousands and thousands of pounds and weeks and weeks. So 3, 2, 1, go. We start running, things are exploding, people are screaming, no one's acting because it's terrifying. And then we get to the end, and like there's a lot more smoke than expected. And one of the assistant directors comes out, and is like, guys, I'm just gonna go check on what's going on. Walks through the smokes, and then we just hear this run. He comes back, leads us out into the courtyard that we have to
There's a
run
dragon.
through.
There's a
There's a
dragon.
massive dragon. And yeah, the whole set was made of polyester,
Balsa wood.
balsa wood and polystyrene. That's what, it's really hard to say fast. And yeah, they was all on fire, and they had to call like the fire brigade. I can't get my words out.
Scarred.
It's like the tongue twister.
That's
curse.
awesome. I wish I
cool.
got to be an actor in something. It sounds like it's a lot of fun.
It
Especially
is
being in
good
Harry
fun.
Potter.
I think my dad's in Eddie the Eagle. I haven't watched it yet.
Should I do extra work?
Yeah, he does.
That's amazing.
That's really cool.
He's in Snow White and the Huntsman, the second one as well.
No way.
And Wolf Hall. He's doing all right.
That's awesome. I never
That's
got to
pretty
be an
cool.
extra or anything.
You've got the beard to be a Game of Thrones
Yeah.
extra.
Well, I think Rory said on the podcast before, like
Oh, yeah.
all his mates now have got beards because he's from Northern Ireland, so and that's where they film a lot of this. So all of his friends, all of his uni friends, are all growing beards, so they want to be extras in Game of Thrones.
Wildlings just shooting about.
I think you just feel like really special being part of like Harry Potter in that way.
be amazing.
Like, I went to the press conference, which isn't special at all, for the very last film, and that felt really special because it was the last thing. Imagine being in the last film. It's pretty good.
You can.
That's amazing. There we are. That's us for this week. If you've ever been in a film and you think it is a fun story, let us know. IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com.
And don't remember, you can get a box of Gav's shit.
Yeah.
Big box of
Human
shit.
feast. No. A box of cool stuff.
It's just going to be a box of poop emojis, isn't it?
Oh, I actually.
You can get little
poop
plushie-
emoji kitchen.
Yeah,
plushy
I keep
ones.
seeing them everywhere now. Shit emojis.
I really want one.
Yeah.
Really want one.
I want
we are
I
then.
want the little person who's doing that. Like, putting their hands up by their face.
I like the sort of emoji.
Yeah?
That's a
I
really
like
good
the brand
one.
new unicorn emoji.
There's brand new ones?
There's a unicorn emoji.
I didn't know they released new emojis.
Yeah.
Well, there we are. What's your favourite emoji? Let us know. IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com. And we shall be back next week. Bye.
See you later.